Welcome in, my crafting creatures, to a rarity, which is me making a card, but I thought I'd stick it on camera, so just for you, here we go, with lots of bits and pieces, and I will keep in any bad bits. Okay, so we have a small palette tool, the blending tool for ink blending. Speaking of inks, I'm using 3 distress oxides. I am using Blueprint Sketch, Broken China and Peacock Feathers. Hopefully they'll go together okay, she says. And of course the blending tool sponges, which will go on the blending tool. I am using my loyal little ladybird stamp to go on the back. This is some blue Aurora pearlescent powder, mica powder, definitely powder, I promise you that, but this is a blue one because we're making a blue base card, if you hadn't guessed. Here we have some lava paste by Cosmic Shimmer. Now, I haven't used this before, so this entire card is going to be completely new to me, which is why I'm going to keep any mistakes in because let you see them. But we're going to need the palette knife to use the lava paste to scoop it up and scrape it on and stuff. Pair of small little scissors for snipping. Some white ink, which you will find out becomes very problematic later because it's not a brand one, it's just a cheap one and it will show later. A waterproof little playmat so that I can stick ink down and wipe it up really easily. Then we have my card. I've got some watercolour card, just one piece of watercolour card, and already made the blank card because that bit's a bit boring, and you know. A stencil. I had a couple to choose from, but I fancied kind of using this. It seemed the most masculine to use, so that will do for the moment. And here, can we see it? Just about. Okay, down here, happy birthday, because I'm making a birthday card. And scrap piece of blue card, which was just in my stash, and my trusty, yay, stamping platform. Okay, so clear table, well, rather rubbish on it. My waterproof matte sheet thingamy-bobbedy, and I need my watercolour card. This is especially for using watercolours on because it takes up the water quite nicely. So blending tool at the ready, and the first one I'll go to is the darker, which is the Blueprint Sketch. My favourite one, but this isn't for me, and I want to get a nice dark border around the card. And I've got to say, I don't hold the card down very well, granted. And on such a teeny weeny little table, it is a little bit difficult. But we make do with what we have. So just going around the outside, making sure that blue is definitely on the card. There we go. Little handy tip, a little bit of masking tape on the fingers so you can hold down on the ink and not get the ink on your fingers, although this works much better when you're not on a slippy mat like I am. So Blueprint Sketch away for the moment, and I'm moving on to the Broken China, so changing over my inking sponge. And let's go in on the next one. Now I did go a little bit too heavy-handed for my liking right at the start of this, but I will get it where I need it to be. So not all a big loss. The good thing is you're not going to really be able to see the lines between the colours when it's all finished, so I'm not overly in need of making this perfection. It's just to give some colour variation as a background piece, really. So you'll see me dab it onto the sheet, the background sheet, every now and again. That's just taking off a little bit of the excess at the beginning, and then during the blending picking up the ink that has been put on the sheet to reuse in a different place. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Sort of, maybe. So I'm just making sure it blends into the darker blue a little bit. Bad thing is this camera's really not picking it up so good, but we'll get there. Right, let's move on to the third colour, which is the peacock feathers. Helps if you get the sponge, Lisa. There's a good girl. And open the ink. Yeah, just like that. Gosh, you're clever. And doing the centre of the card now. So this inner colour is kind of like a tealy sea green, I guess. Now, let's go back to the other. Come on out, Blueprint Sketch, you're up again. So let's reaffirm the border around this card. Taking away some of that whiteness that is seen and getting some colour in there. Oh, bye-bye inks, onto the floor you go. Anybody else see that? It didn't happen, honest. It's a little bit better. All good? Okay. Now, the stencil that I'm using. Now, figuring out which way exactly I'm going to put it. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to go with that way. Now remember, this is a new technique for me, so I am learning as I am doing here. So getting a little bit of washi tape, donut washi tape, because you know it's got donuts on it and I was hungry, so donut washi tape seemed to fit me perfectly. So just hold the stencil down. I haven't dared put it on the card because I'm worried that if I take the washi tape up, it will take the card up too. So wiping round the waterproof mat, as you can see, because I don't want it on my clothes, on my hands, on my on my clothing. Let's get that back in alignment. Couple more bits around here. At least I know roughly where it goes. Just slide it back in, Lisa. Just slide back under and rotate a little bit. Go on, go on. Almost. Ta-da! There we go. Right. Okay. Now for the bit that I've been dreading but looking forward to all at the same time. Lava paste and the Aurora mica powder. So remember, this is Cosmic Shimmer, and I'm going to mix this mica powder to give it a little bit of colour. Instead of being a creamy white, I'm going to have the blue Aurora, I hope. That's the plan. I don't know if you can, but I'm going to try it. I mean, I do now know that the result will be the result, but right, palette knife. I'm going to stick a little bit on the waterproof mat because I'm wanting to mix it with the powder, and I don't know how much lava paste I'm going to need, so I'm just getting out a little bit for the moment. Test it out. Oh, that could be handy. Yeah, I won't have to get so much out then. So I'm just dabbing a little bit in. There's a little pile just there. Thankfully, with that little stopper on the top, I don't have to worry about the entire jar coming out. Right, mix them together. No, I'm not going to be cementing a wall, I hope. So there we go. That's mixed with the Aurora mica powder. And let's start spreading. You can do this also with a plastic card, like a gift card. Make sure you've spent it first. Or a bank card. I mean, they're pretty easy to clean anyway, but just very carefully scrape along the top. Don't rub too much. And if you want to make it even, make it even. So let's get this sped through, shall we? So making sure it's all mixed. Get it spread carefully over. Now I do want a little bit of texture on this, so I'm not trying to get it as even as I can. If I did, I'd use either the card method, plastic card method, or I would use a larger palette knife, but I wanted a little bit of texture, a little bit of something there, a little bit of dimension, which is also another reason why I used powder, although it turned out it didn't matter. I was kind of thinking that the powder might make it all bumpy, but it actually didn't. So in a sense, I was pleased with that because it was a nice little experimentation. But getting it all over the area where I need it to. Just remember not to rub too much because the stencil will move under force. But overall, I found this really easy to do, which I'm really grateful for. If you're willing, please give a thumbs up, subscribe if you can, and hopefully I might see you in a live one day, even if it's a replay. Okay, so now we're coming to the end, just making sure all bits are covered. Again, I'm not bothered myself about how even or uneven this is. I want a bit of texture, so I'm leaving a little bit down there. Now, fingers crossed. Let's hope it all looks okay. Remember, this is my first time, so I'm dreading this bit. That's the washi tape off, and now I know that I'm supposed to just lift. Not too bad. Yay me! Oh, lovely sheen on it. Ooh. I know there's a bit of light in, but let's looks like I went over the stencil a little bit. Let's see if we can clean that up. Probably not. With the oxides, the lava paste will pick up some of the colour from underneath. Not all of it, but some of it, because oxides react with liquid. And this isn't working. So that gives me an idea for doing something tomorrow. But hey, at least I tried, right? Is that what counts? Apparently, so they say. Yeah, this definitely didn't work, that bit. Oh well, that's my fault. There we go, look. Now, can you see the shimmer? A little bit? Oh, just there. Just there. Shimmer! And that's from the Aurora powder. Blue Aurora powder. Okay, and there's the texture. So that's my little thing. Now, let's get on with another little bit while that dries, which is going to take about 24 hours approximately. So I'm going to take my scrap card and I want to make my sentiment. Now, I do apologise because I lost the footage for this little bit and I'm so annoyed. So annoyed. And all I can do is say sorry to you that I lost this bit. In a moment, you'll see. So let's get the stamp. So I'm using the happy birthday one. It helps if I have light. Well done, Lisa. You're clever. And that's the bit where, can you tell? I lost the footage. Apologies. Fast forward to the next day, and the light isn't brilliant, and I can only apologise. So I've chopped my sentiment down with a guillotine, and now I'm going to get my trusty little scissors, and I want to make an arrow out of this. So just snip it down so that it's easier to work with. And yes, I'll even use those scraps. Sorry, that noise was Beanie. She's in my arm while I'm narrating this. Okay, that's the feather end done. And the point, and this is all by eye, which isn't brilliant, but I am using my eye. You know, you can get all technical to make it decent, but people know these are from me, so you know. So that's my happy birthday sentiment cut done. Now we're on the next day, da! And this is what we're going to be using. So we have some foam tape, which is about 2-3 mil, a little bit of kitchen towel, scissors for manky stuff, water, different ink pad. Now this one is not only blue, but metallic. Honestly, I promise you, it's metallic. In fact, it says so just there. Can you see that? Can you see that? Sort of, not really. With the camera. Going to need the card base. There's the base and the envelope, it will go in. And then there's the trusty ladybird. Okay, so because I made a mistake yesterday. Oh, my sentiment, of course. And I suppose this bit will help too. The background. So you see I've made those little mistakes. So I want to see if I can blend them in more, as it were. So I'm going to give the oxide ink a little spray with water because it reacts with liquid. So I'm going to give it a quick spray, and then with my kitchen towel just try and lighten things up a bit so it's not quite so harsh lines, you know, not so they're not quite as obvious that I messed up, but you know I did. I know I did. I'll just say it's supposed to be like that. It's an artist's prerogative, you know. So, okay, now I've got to let that dry again. But can you see the texture on that? So I've got a few cliffs, I've got a little bit of aurora going on. Clean off the table with the water because I don't want to put anything down on there. So can you see the shine? Okay, that's a lot of that is water, but there is shine under there from the aurora. If you look down here, sort of picking up, kind of, not really, kind of, sort of. Nah, you get the idea. Okay, so that needs to dry for a moment. Now, let's get the card base done. Get my metallic blue, and of course, what are we going to use? The ladybird. I apologise for the reflection from the light. Sorry. So dab, 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 and done. I love this ink because it's absolutely brilliant, and it's shiny, and it's blue. So we're all done. Make sure you clean your stamps. Look, my little blue ladybird. And then with my pen, do my little thing on the back saying Ladybird Designs. No, that's not my signature, so don't try and forge it because it won't get you nowhere. Sorry. So Ladybird Designs. Nobody else would ever admit to these anyway. But at least it might give you guys an idea of something to do, or make you go, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, I could use it like that. Now, where am I going to put this sentiment? Ah, I know. Okay, there's a big white bit there. Let's cover that up. Didn't really want it in the middle, but I suppose it's going to have to do. So, because I am not putting this through the post, I am giving definition to this card, hence the foam tape. So this is a little bit wider than the sentiment. So I'm going to chop it not only widthwise, but lengthwise as well. Excuse me. I am using my manky scissors, and a little handy tip, if you don't know, if you want to get rid of glue or sticky residue from anything, squirt on a little bit of oil. I mean, I personally use WD-40 or a store's own brand. Just a little bit of like maintenance oil. Squib it on. Leave maybe for about 2 minutes. Don't even have to do that most of the time. Just wipe it off. And all the sticky gunk is removed. And in the scissors case, it helps the scissors too. So I'm cutting these at an angle just to get that last bit of foam tape off, and that will do me. But I have got an idea about this sentiment. But what I wanted to do went wrong. Can you tell? Don't! So it reacted with water, basically, and came off. I just wanted to wipe a little bit off, but it all went. So that's that idea gone then. Let's try something else, shall we? Get the white ink back out, an acrylic block, and a different sentiment set. So I'm using this happy birthday again, and it's purely because I can't find my stamp platform thing. I don't know where it went. It's disappeared. Don't worry, I found it now. Okay, so let's get this on the acrylic block and dip it in the white. And this is where, do you remember right at the beginning I said about this ink is pretty nasty, it's cheap, and it acts it? Well, we're about to find out. So down we go. No, no, don't fall that way. Oh my gosh, please don't be smudged. Please don't be smudged. Please don't be smudged. Oh, good. Now, the thing is, I don't have a stamping platform, and I really need to do that again. This is not going to work. Yes, that's my head getting in the way. Well, that went to pot. Yep, this sentiment is turning out absolutely brilliant. Oh, at least he will know it's from me, because who else could do it? Okay, so let's let's put this on maybe, and we'll come back to the sentiment. Gosh, I like this Aurora stuff, and it's all dry now, which is great. Let's get some foam tape on the back of it, because I want this to stand up too. Remember, I want a little bit of definition. So throwing some foam tape all the way around. Gosh, I did well with that one. I didn't think that'd work. Woo! One more long side. And the last little bit, which is too long. Okay, scissors to the rescue. Snip, snip. Snip, I say. Okay. Use that another time. All down. All good. Let's get rid of some. Take that off there. Oh, just thought. Oh, I'm glad I thought. Yay. Need to put a little bit in the middle. I'm glad I thought about that before I stuck it down. I don't know why I missed it in the first place, but hey ho. Okay, so remove all that tape off of the tape. And let's use the funky eye again. Now, am I going to put it squiffy to go with the picture, or am I going to put it straight? Straight it is. And down it is. So it's too late now. Okay, so that was using eye again. My eye, spy with my little eye. I've got to sort this out now. It's dry. We're not using this again. Let's go back to funky blue. Because, you know, why not? And yes, I did clean the stamp before I did this a little bit. You don't want to put a dirty stamp in ink because that's just not right. I've had this ink for so long and I've never needed to refresh it. Fingers crossed it works. Come on, come on. You're a good ink. It worked! So now it kind of matches the background because it's all... If you see it in the light, you see it. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to cover that white bit. Picky off and let's get it on. I'm going to take it slightly off just to give a little bit more interest. Ah, card done. Mistakes and all. Got there in the end. Well, it's better than I expected it to be. Kind of funky. Ta-da! Card done.